and let us all do we can to build a better future.
All right, everyone. Get ready for everyone's stupid hot take in regards towards Trump being indicted. And the thing is, with everything that's happening right now in this country, all around the world, where there's an environmental crisis in East Palestine, Ohio, where there's crumbling infrastructure happening all over America, unchecked wars that are continuing being financed by Wall Street, big banks, and the military-industrial complex. We got unchecked corruption and politicians doing insider trading. What can we take from this with Trump being indicted? And that is CNN and MSNBC are once again addicted to covering Trump. That's all what they could do. Any other story is irrelevant. Any story of corruption, it's going to be ignored. Any story of people dying from pollutants, it's going to be ignored. But CNN and MSNBC are doing wall-to-wall coverage of this unprecedented event in U.S. history. Now, look, I know that Trump and his team gave Stormy Daniels some hush money. Corn star Stormy Daniels. I said corn, YouTube, because you're stupid, YouTube, and so are all your policies. But he gave her like what, $130K in hush money? Oh, and everyone's probably crying from the rooftop, but he cheated on his wife. Well, guess what? He wasn't president of the United States then, right? And so who cares? No, honestly, who cares? We have politicians currently in office committing far worse crimes than Trump. And yes, I get that Trump's a bigoted and a misogynist and a racist or whatever. I don't care about that. This is a huge distraction. And the media is gobbling up. Hell, I'm going to say something controversial. All these quote-unquote pundits and everyone else on MSNBC and CNN who are carrying the banner flag of holding Trump accountable during his 4 years of presidency, they're secretly hoping that he wins this because then it's ongoing coverage. This is their crack. This is their meth. This is their drug. All this stuff about, oh, we're going to close the walls in on Trump. They're having all their experts on. Secretly, in their most private of moments, they want Trump to win. They want Trump to walk away from this indictment so they can continue on covering him. No matter what, this is a boon for them. Trump is what made corporate media relevant. Trump is perhaps the biggest job creator in the social justice warrior movement, activist movement that was going on for the past 4 years and been continuing on. And it's pathetic. Here, don't believe me? Let's listen to the words of Jake Tapper. Good old Jake defends the news media's wall-to-wall coverage of Trump. Oh, Trump, the orange Cheeto. A failed reality TV show host that beat a corporate neoliberal hack fraud named Hillary Clinton. So this is from Forbes. There he was on each of the cable news network. Donald Trump, once again, the most fascinating man in the world. If you turned on CNN or MSNBC or Fox News on Monday afternoon, you could watch Trump as he flew in from Florida to New York in his Trump-branded jet. Oh, how fan-freaking-tastic. And then as he rode in his motorcade to Trump Tower. Fox News Channel live coverage carried the banner, Trump leaving Mar-a-Lago, heading for New York City. BSDNC said, now Trump heads to Palm Beach International Airport for flight. Later on, CNN, the banner read, Trump in New York State. Motorcade en route to Trump Tower before changing soon Trump to arrive at Trump Tower ahead of tomorrow's arrest. And again, this is what our media has been reduced down to. These are the authoritative sources that the YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram algorithm favor. This is the media outlets. These are the media outlets that so many Americans consume. The history, of course, happened last week with the indictment of a former president, and will happen Tuesday when Trump is booked and arraigned. But today, the simple, unsurprising movement of a man from one place to another became an event in and of itself, was Trump's SUV driving along the streets of West Palm Beach, and then his jet taking off and then landing, and then another SUV making its way up the FDR Drive, a 21st century version of the O.J. Simpson's ride in a white Ford Bronco. The similarities were enough that O.J. Simpson was trending on Twitter throughout the afternoon. And look, this is again corporate media, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. They're all covering Trump. Everyone's obsessed with Trump. They're all obsessed with Trump. They don't care about accountability. Remember what the head of CBS, Les Nunez, once said about Trump during the 2016 election. The words that Trump are saying are bad for America, but it's good for CBS, because they were getting the ratings. Hell, CNN was getting the ratings. Everyone was being relevant again. Mary Trump, the former president's niece and fierce critic, panned in breathless coverage, saying, "Seriously, CNN, do you need to show us Donald's plane taking off? Hey, Mary Trump, consider this. You're getting a lot of clout from your uncle's name, okay? So, everyone is making a name for themselves off of Trump. It's the big distraction. Oh, don't worry about the chemical spill in East Palestine, Ohio. Don't worry about the billions of dollars we're giving in Ukraine. Don't worry about how Democratic and Republican lawmakers are doing insider trading, which if you were ever to do and get caught, you would never see the light of day ever again." Now, here's the thing. I was hoping that people would learn their lessons. I was wrong. I learned that lesson in 2020. The media should have learned its lesson after its failed coverage of the 2016 election, with empty podiums and planes idling on the tarmac were deemed newsworthy. Yet here we are again, and the media is making the same mistakes all over. These aren't mistakes, Forbes. These are not mistakes. This is being done on purpose. On purpose, because we have a media that is designed to turn people's brains off. Smart enough to run the machines, just dumb enough not to ask questions. And seriously, people need to be asking questions. Now, of course, talking about the Fox News alert saying, "Oh, here, the president's leaving." All right. Capturing the bizarre intersection of the media's fascination with Trump and Trump's fascination with himself was the former president's son, Eric, who shared an image of the big screen TV on the Trump jet tuned to Fox News, on which was a live shot of Trump's jet. Watching the plane from the plane. It's this is a Saturday morning cartoon show, except it's horribly incompetent, and people are wondering why it got even greenlit to be on everyone's TV. Former Republican National Chairman Michael Steele and BSDNC political analysis noted that the minute-by-minute coverage of Trump's trip to the East Coast came as the actual president of the United States was traveling. Again, Biden's not that popular. On CNN, everybody's favorite tapper, Jake, reacted to the criticism saying, "I know that media..." Jesus Christ, Jake. Hold on. Let me sound more pretentious. "I know that media critics are taking issue with the way that a lot of news networks are covering this. This is unprecedented. Unprecedented." But obviously, nothing that viewers were watching was unprecedented at all. Watching a jet land at LaGuardia, even a jet carrying a character as outsized as Donald Trump, is nothing new. What happens tomorrow? Now that will be indeed newsworthy. But this, everyone's all focusing on Trump. Everyone's focusing on Trump. But it's even worse than that. It's even worse than that, because here again, you have CNN talking about this. History will unfold. This is not history. History will unfold live before millions of television news viewers on Tuesday as former President Donald Trump travels to Manhattan criminal court to be arraigned after last week's unprecedented indictment of what? Money given to a porn star? Okay, great, whatever. The extraordinary moment will present newsrooms a slew of coverage conundrums, quandaries, and all sorts of other stuff, and test how well outlets have adapted to reporting on Trump since he left office in disgrace and largely vanished from the public view. Oh, CNN, you miss your drug. You miss your drug. So here we go. We got all these people here. adding in their commentary, their 2 cents, because how important this is. Everyone's going to be talking about Trump's lawyers and all of Trump's legal problems. So let's talk about this even further, because here's what's happening today. GOP warns Trump charges will lead to more political prosecutions. So Republicans are warning that the unprecedented indictment of former President Donald Trump on multiple charges sets a dangerous precedent that will lower the bar for future political prosecutions while putting the nation on a precarious, slippery slope. Some Republicans are comparing Trump's indictment over crimes related to the payment of $130,000 to an adult film actress, Stormy Daniels, to the House Republican impeachment of then President Bill Clinton in 1998 on charges related to his affair with a White House intern. So you see, that's what I find interesting. So while Trump was boinking an adult film actress, Stormy Daniels, President Bill Clinton, who was president, was actually having affairs. Jesus. The hypocrites through and through. This is why I'm not going to be voting Democrat or Republican. All these fools. So what's the big takeaway from this? What can we learn? What can we learn after seeing how inept and incompetent our lawmakers are? And how inept and incompetent our media is. No one learned anything from 2016. They're going to be covering the motorcades, empty courtrooms, crowded rooms, Trump walking in, Trump walking out, all these tweets. Anyone with a blue check mark, anyone that's a pundit, anyone who's a social justice warrior, part of the Vote Blue No Matter Who crowd, oh, they're going to be getting a lot of tweets and retweets. This is everyone's bread and butter. After the 2020 election, all these people rose to prominence because they were the resistance against Trump. They're salivating this. They're happy because now they get to do this. They get to do their job again. Trump is their bread and butter. He is their money pot. The more they shake it, the more they become relevant. Trump is the biggest job producer in the media, social justice, and political sphere. He made people relevant. And that's what's pretty sad. He made corporate media relevant. And again, you know, what I find funny is that Trump got more media attention than Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, who, again, campaigned not once but twice, 2016 and 2020, where election fraud impacted his campaign, where there was, again, election fraud taking place, not voter fraud, election fraud, where polling stations were being shut down, lack of paper ballots, people waiting in line 8 hours just to vote. So, you know, progressives and the left want to know why they keep on losing, because the system is designed to turn people's brains off and have them focus on something irrelevant, and that is Trump. But what's ironic is that Trump is making corporate media and the institution of neoliberalism relevant because he's a distraction. He's a distraction to what's wrong with our country, our unchecked corruption, our crumbling infrastructure, and so much more.